Hi, students, and welcome to today's lesson. I'm Mrs. Doble. Today, we will continue to explore the question, where do plants get the matter they need for growth? Are you ready? Grab your pencil and your science journal, and let's get started. We've been learning a lot about a type of tree called a sequoia tree. This tree can grow almost as tall as a football field is long. That's 100 yards straight up into the sky. We learned that sequoia cones hold sequoia seeds. The seeds grow into these massive trees, but we aren't quite sure how. Were you able to design an investigation to determine where do plants get the matter they need for growth? In our last lesson, you made a claim about where plant matter comes from, but we need a way to test that claim. We used a table tennis ball and a tennis ball to develop fair test criteria. Let's use these criteria to develop an investigation plan. We will try to answer the question, where do plants get the matter they need for growth? We know we will use plants in our test, so we can complete this section of the table. We will compare multiple plants. Great. Now, let's talk about the variables. There are many different plants that we could grow, but we need to use the same type of plant and start with the same size plant in each trial of our test. We have decided to use green onion plants, but where will we grow them? We can't grow the plants in our hand. We could grow our plants in the ground, but then there would be variables we couldn't control, such as bugs. What if a grasshopper started to nibble on one plant, but not the other? Maybe we could put our plant in a pot. That way, we could keep it in a bug-free environment and not introduce any other new variables. Remember, we will test our variables, water, soil, and air, one at a time so that we can determine which one or which ones contribute to plant growth. We can grow the plant without soil or water in this pot, but how can we deprive a plant of air if we grow it in a pot? We need to be able to grow one of our plants without access to air. I think we need to grow our plant in a container with a lid or a cap. What about a water bottle? It has a cap, so we can squeeze the air out of it and close it. And I have lots of them around my home. Awesome! I think a water bottle would be perfect. We will grow all our plants in water bottles and introduce only one variable at a time. That means we will grow them in the same location and give them the same amount of water, air, and sunlight. We will also need to use something to measure the growth of our plants. We know we need to measure our plants so that we know if and how much each plant grows. But using a ruler would be difficult because the plants are in water bottles. So we will use a measuring stick. We can use the ruler to mark our measuring stick, and then we can put measuring sticks inside each of the bottles. I think our investigation plan is great. Now that we know how to set up our investigation, let's discuss how to make sure we keep it fair. We've identified possible sources of plant matter. Each of these possible sources of plant matter is a variable that we need to test one by one. Plant 1 will not receive water, but it will receive soil and air. Plant 2 will not receive soil, but it will receive water and air. We will put a paper towel in the bottom of the bottle. Plant 3 will not receive any air, but it will receive water and soil. We will squeeze the air out of the bottle and put the top on. Plant 4 will receive everything. It will serve as our control. We expect the control plant to grow normally, and we will be able to compare the other plants with the control plant to see whether withholding water, soil, or air affects plant growth. One of your tasks at the end of this lesson will be to record the data you collect. So let's get started. We will add soil and a green onion plant to the first water bottle. We will keep this water bottle open so that the plant also receives air. We will use a measuring stick to track the growth of each plant. We will add water and a green onion plant to our second water bottle and keep it open for air as well. We will add soil, water, and a green onion plant to our third water bottle. But this time, we will squeeze all the air out and cap the bottle. Finally, we will set up our control. We will add soil, water, and a green onion plant to our final water bottle and leave the bottle open to the air. Don't forget the measuring stick. We will grow all our plants in the same location to ensure that they receive equal amounts of sunlight and are grown in the same temperature. Wow, look at all our data. We will continue to observe and collect data from our observations. Do you remember the claim you made from the question, where do plants get the matter they need for growth? From air, soil, and water? Or maybe some combination? When we next meet, which of these plants do you think will still be alive and well? I can't wait to find out, can you? Let's review your tasks for today. First, record your observations and data from the investigation. Then, respond to the question about your claim. What evidence would support or refute your claim about plant growth? Thanks for joining me on today's lesson as we explored the question, where do plants get the matter they need for growth?